That's just how things are.
I'll head to my crew position.
Welcome to the clinic. If you have a medical emergency,
I have something
please use
I
priority
need to discuss
docking.
with you.
Hey, what's going on?
I have an important personal decision to make, but I need to discuss something with you first. Phew, thank you. So, where to start? Before I was with the Navigator Corps, I was career military, part of the United Colonies Navy. When the Colony War broke out, I was posted as the chief navigator on a warship, the Dauntless. In my case, I was third in command, which has a lot to do with the story. There was a particularly bloody battle. We were fighting over a world in the Eta Cassiopeia system. Worst fighting I'd ever seen. We lost 12 ships that day. 12. Including my own. Economic reasons. Several of the worlds in the Cassiopeia system were mineral rich. Both sides wanted to drop refinery outposts on the surface to bolster their supply. With hundreds of lives lost on both sides, I'd argue there were no winners at all. Now let me finish. The ship was barely intact. The captain and first mate died the previous day, which put me in command. A shrewd captain would have called for the crew to abandon ship, but I was so angry. I wanted to stay. I needed to fight. Well, I didn't have the luxury of indecision. I had to act. We fought for hours, but the damage was fatal. I gave the order to abandon ship and the crew piled into the escape shuttle. As the shuttle launched, I could see it was damaged. I heard screams before the radio cut. The last thing I saw, they were spiraling helplessly towards the planet's surface. There was nothing I could do. You're sorry. For me? If I hadn't been so stubborn, so eager to prove that I could handle command, my crew would have had more time to escape. Try telling that to their loved ones. When the dust settled, the United Colonies gave me a medal. Can you believe that? A damn medal! I never even had a chance to find the shuttle wreckage and give my crew a proper burial. Bad luck. That sounds familiar. Remember when you said no one but me would have pushed harder to keep the navigator core going? Well, this time, pushing too hard cost lives. Don't you get it? Everything I do, everything I touch, somehow falls apart. That's why I'm worried about us. After everything you've heard, all my stories, you still have faith. No one's ever cared about me this much. Not even Aja. You know, I've spent a lot of time thinking about us, about our relationship, how we've clearly become close. I practiced what I was going to say when the moment was right, and now that it's here, my mind's gone blank. Look, you deserve the best. Someone who can give themselves to you entirely. But right now, I have too much baggage. Too much on my mind. I hope you'll forgive me for pushing you away. I just need time. Stopping at the clinic to do a bit of xeno research, eh? Count me in.
Ma'am, I'm just the courier.
I understand that. I'm not blaming you directly. Dr. Salvato, how long have you been here?
About a year now, Doctor.
And in that year, how many times have we had this conversation about late or missing shipments of supplies?
I believe this is the third time.
Yes, that sounds right. 3 times. I will be making it very clear to your superiors that lives are at stake, and the clinic requires reliable transport. If your company cannot meet our needs, someone else will.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you, Dr. Salvato. You may return to your duties.
It's a grav drive. I literally can't get here any faster.
It's encouraging to know that every case we cure here likely means dozens or hundreds
Dr.
more
Darvish took a
saved in
chance
the
on me,
future.
hiring me fresh out of training. Need to make sure she doesn't regret it.
Welcome to the clinic. I'm Dr. Darvish, Chief of Medicine. Is there something I can do for you? Then I suggest you seek out one of the many other facilities available to walk-ins. I'm afraid we don't often deal with minor cases. We have a particular focus on astrovirology here, so the patients we take on tend to have unusual cases that require long-term care, and sometimes require unorthodox or experimental treatments. We have an excellent track record that speaks for itself, but it doesn't leave room for much else. If you absolutely require medical supplies, speak to Dr. Salvato. We have very limited resources I would consider extra, and he would be the one to distribute them. Would you now? Well, I suppose we could always use additional research specimens. The more data we have about what's out there in the settled systems, the faster we can diagnose novel illnesses. In theory, at least. I suppose we could consider you an independent contractor of sorts. We keep a database of known alien sedatives, but more data points are always welcome. If you could provide some samples, it would be appreciated. What we're looking for are basic organic substances. They could come from any number of flora or fauna on countless worlds across the settled systems. Just keep your eyes open as you travel and harvest things when you find them. Or frankly, if you can find them at a reasonable price somewhere, purchase them. I'm less concerned with the source than the materials themselves.
I'm just a nurse. If you need to talk to someone in charge, wrong guy. Is there something I can help you with? You look a bit lost.
Doing all right. Everything's good. I appreciate you checking, but really, it's okay. I've been here a whole year now.
Damn. You're fleet, aren't you? Oh, I should have known she'd send someone. Look, the price of goods here has gone up. Doubled, tripled even. Does she not even consider a cheaper supplier? She really should. Well, I was afraid you'd say that. I was really hoping she'd take the hint. Truth is, there was no price hike on the clinic, but I didn't lie to fatten my pockets, or buy Aurora. I just wanted to nudge her toward another supplier. It's just, I hear about people getting treated or dying all the time due to run-ins with the fleet. How does it all shake out in the end? I don't know. Either way, it seems like I end up with lives on my conscience. Yeah? Advice from the fleet? I doubt it. It's not that I doubt the use. It's the motives of the people being saved. I can't argue with that. I don't want to deny anyone help that truly needs it. This job is my life. I'd hate to risk it. I think you've convinced me. Still, I can't believe I made a deal with the Crimson Fleet. I've stashed the supplies in the storage closet just around the hall. Here's the key. Just try not to let anyone see you. I want to keep this as under the radar as possible.
I'm just a computer guy. You need medical help? When I told them I was good with computers, I didn't think they'd trust me with the entire clinic. Well, yeah, somebody has to. It's great medical care, but not the latest in support tech. Funding only goes so far, and most of it's prioritized for keeping patients alive. And there's still a lot of outdated UC tech behind the walls that needs interfacing, so I stay plenty busy.
Awful lot of money comes into this place on account of whatever research they do.
We're still here after all this time, so it's not apocalyptic. I can't complain too much. I like the job security, and I get to help people. At least, indirectly. Have a good one.
You had a chance to talk to Dr. Cassidy. Really fun guy.
These poor people. I can't imagine suffering from something no one understands. It must be terribly frightening for them.
You heard of the Elios Retreat? It's supposed to be some new age healing center for reforming criminals or whatever. Going up in Exil 2.
We get the
I'm not
cases no
holding my
one has
breath.
ever seen before or doesn't know how to treat. Bye.
A couple of years on duty here, and anyone would be qualified to run any other hospital in the settled systems. Are you the courier? You're not really supposed to be back here. You can just drop the delivery off by the docking port and someone will take care of it. Well, then you won't have Dr. Darvish breathing down your neck at least. But, well, we're not really set up for having folks just milling about in here. It is a medical facility, after all. If you could just do your best to steer clear of the doctors while they work, and not interrupt things, I'd really appreciate it. And if you need anything, I'm right here, okay? Nurse supervisor, dear. I'm the one who takes care of all the doctors, as well as the patients. The more I can look after, the more the doctors can focus on patient diagnosis and treatment. Every role here is important. Bye for now.
I really hope someone comes to take a look at me soon.
Just keep it nice and orderly. I hate this delivery run. Can't ever get here fast enough. Got it. Sure, have at it. Sure thing. We'll get it fixed.
The fleet is family. Stealing from each other.
If you need credits, hit up the mission boards at the core.
No, but just remember, I don't work for free. And I need your cash. It's a match made in heaven.
Need a drink? Bog at the Last Nova will be more than happy to take your credits.
We may not have official security on the key, but we're always looking out for traders.
Need something?
At this rate, I'll be out of supplies within the week. Tell me you've got those supplies from Gennady. I'm on the last of my medpacks here. Everything's accounted for. No damage. I'm impressed. I might have to make this a regular thing. At least it's one way to get guaranteed supplies. I only need to determine Gennady's limits. I'd hate to break him. I need love every minute of it, right? Well, I'll arrange your payment so you can get out of here. I appreciate the help. These supplies are going to save a lot of lives over the next few months. I suppose I can spare a few supplies. Be careful. I don't have endless supplies, you know.
Need to have Aludra take a look at this kinetic. Recoil's off.
ruins are incredible. They're like nothing else in the settled systems. Sure, go ahead. what? I know a few archaeologists back in New Atlantis that would give their left arm to be here right now.
can't think of a better... place to recharge and ready ourselves for our next mission.
Seems like the Crimson Fleet is everywhere these days.
This space is a memorial to those lost during the Colony War. Your consideration is requested.
Just one quiet day. Not too much to ask for.
Maybe we should stop for a moment at the memorial. You know, to pay our respects.
Keeper Aquilus, can we have a moment?
Oh, Mateo. It's been too long. How are your parents? Your mother still struggling with that azalea garden?
No, she figured that out a while ago. Had to adjust the pH levels in the soil. But, Keeper, I didn't come to catch up.
Oh. Well, what's on both your minds? Oh. Yeah. How humanity comes together. How we are to love each other, even as our universe becomes even more complex.
That's not exactly what we mean. Keeper, when you talk about unity, well, does it mean anything else? Something secret?
Perhaps we should talk about this inside.
Aquilus has helped me through some tough times lately.
Now that we have a little privacy, why don't you tell me exactly what it is that brought you two here?
They're like nothing we've ever seen, Keeper. Gravitational distortion, sub-audio harmonic sequencing, unidentifiable energy fluctuations.
I caught half of that. So, these things are unusual? Even in your experience? There have always been mysteries that seem to defy our understanding of the universe, beyond rational thought. We enter life as an act of someone else's faith in us. There's no way of knowing who we will become, and yet the risk is made anyway. So you've pushed into the unknown, not knowing where it would take you. And it's brought you here. I think I can. If you're willing to find your way in the dark for a bit longer, I can give you a path to discovering its meaning. There's an old story, far older than the Sanctum Universum, of someone who walked the settled systems and saw every corner of it. This pilgrim claimed he found the true meaning of unity. I always thought of it as just a parable for trying to bring humanity together, but maybe it's more. In my story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the enigmatic cult of the Varun, and he gave them each a part of the truth. Then he goes to his final resting place to live out the rest of his days in contemplation of infinitum addendum, his addition or contribution to the infinite. But what if the story isn't a metaphor, but a code? A way of finding the pilgrim again, or at least his grave. I agree. I think you need to talk to them about this unity pilgrim. And clearly, not just in a theological sense, as I have. Because I wasn't looking to find unity in the same sense you are. A fresh set of eyes might reveal the truth. The enlightened work out of the well here in New Atlantis, helping the poorest citizens find a better life for themselves. The rune worshippers are more enigmatic, but there is a lone zealot that was captured recently for attacking UC ships. I visited her a couple of times. Hopefully she'll be willing to talk to you as well.
I'll stay here with the Keeper. We need to catch up. And I wouldn't mind asking him a few more questions.
It's a shame House Varun abandoned their embassy. I bet we could have learned a lot from one another.
Ryujin Industries is looking for the young, bright minds of the future. Apply today at the nearest kiosk.
I've got them.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Let's see what we're dealing with. Oof, it's a damn good thing you came in. You're a right mess. We'll do some cleaning, a bit of closing up, and you should be fine. You're going to feel this, for sure, but you'll be all right in the end. All fixed up best as you can be. We're no Reliant Medical down here, but if you've got credits, I might have something for you.
Private sector. Now that's where the real money's at.
I used to drink. Then, I met Jake. Now I don't. You might say he saved my life.
We run a number of social programs, from financial aid to food banks.
If it's about the financial or food assistance programs, we are backlogged. Don't worry, we're doing everything we can. Oh, we're not. Sorry. Can I help you? Did Keeper Aquilus send you? Oh boy.
Interesting. It appears we've struck a nerve.
Listen, I've talked about this with him a ton of times, and there's no record of a Unity pilgrim. But since you both insist, our early records are mostly administrative. Humanitarian projects, group counseling notes, charity expenditures. But there is a series of exchanges the founding members recorded in a lot of detail. It's the closest thing I have to what Aquilus is describing. A man walks into the first House of Enlightenment. The founding members just call him the Drifter. So they think he's a charity case at first, but no, the Drifter asks them a bunch of questions. If your philosophy is built on an individual's own morality, what about the second person? That second person might disagree. Isn't the problem of two what you're really looking for? And the founders respond, each individual must understand how the second person lifts them up. All of human effort is a story of cooperation pushing us forward. And it kind of goes on like that. He comes back every week for a year. Same conversation every time. Second person this, the problem of do that. It's part of our core principles. There's no God pushing us to do good for some eternal reward. We have to help each other because we choose to. If no one takes responsibility for making the settled systems better, then we're just leaving it to the tyrants to bully the rest of us. Honestly, I think the founding members made it all up. There was a little more hesitation being openly atheist in the early days. I think they were experimenting with writing their own scripture. Fortunately, that got abandoned pretty quick. After the records of the Drifter end, you never see anything like it again. Besides what the Keeper would say about it, sounds like a gathering point, or a center. Or, in mathematics, it would mean one, like the one, the first or the beginning. Always happy to help. If you'll excuse me, I've got a lot of aid efforts to coordinate.
Oh, I've always liked that statue. It's beautiful, isn't it? I wonder what the artist was trying to represent.
Zara, good to see you. Listen, I smoothed over that incident between Mateo and Rosa at the Sanctum.
I'd hardly call it an incident, more of a debate, really. But I appreciate it just the same.
Not a problem. In the meantime, maybe you could tell him to take it down a notch.
Can do. Thanks again, Sergeant.
Keep your nose clean. Last thing I want is to charge you for a DP, an A and B, B and E, or heaven forbid, an MS. But at least then we wouldn't have to worry about it.
A visitor? I have all the company I need. He knows not the truth. He sends another to ask more incessant questions.
Perhaps you should hear us out before you decide to cast judgment.
The Great Serpent waits in the shadows. He will entwine the universe, and all but the faithful will be made as dust. That is the truth. No more, no less.
Anything you could tell us would be tremendously helpful.
Yes, I have spoken to your keeper about this. I will tell you what I told him, and then you will leave me. Jinan Varun meets the unbeliever. He gives false prophecy to Jinan. But such is Jinan's conviction in the Great Serpent, he does not hesitate. He cuts the unbeliever down. But the unbeliever returns. Jinan realizes the Great Serpent is testing him, and he will not be found wanting. 4 times they fight. Over 120 rotations of the planet they are on. Remember these 4 battles, Jinan, the unbeliever says. Remember these 120 rotations. But Jinan knows this is blasphemy, and delivers the killing blow. That is all. Strength and conviction show your worthiness to the Great Serpent. The kill is not as important as showing there is no doubt. I grow tired of speaking. Leave me.
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to be everywhere? It's because they have little outposts everywhere.
I've flown across most of the settling systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet...
Wow, you look completely different.
Can you imagine how many credits flow through this place? Figuratively, of course.
Oh, you're back. What did you learn? Was there something hidden in their stories, like we thought? Planets are often named by number. That second might mean the second planet in the system. What else did you learn? If there really is a location the Pilgrim wanted us to find, those do sound awfully like coordinates. Was there anything else? Yes. What he added to infinity. Maybe that points to a name. If we're looking for his resting place, we'd need to know the name of the star system, wouldn't we? Let's see. We have something that could be coordinates. Something that could point to a planet in the system. But what's the name of the system? Infinitum addendum. What if we break down the parts? No systems named finite or add. That just leaves in and dumb. Well, that's certainly how I feel. Yes, that's it. The second planet in Indum, at 4 and 120. That's where you'll find the Pilgrim's resting place. And from there, maybe you'll find the true meaning of unity. Before you go, you've now spoken to many different perspectives in our universe. In a way, you'll be carrying their philosophies with you on this journey. I know you're looking for a specific unity, but if you had to guess what it was, what interpretation would you give it? And once you know, what will you do? Even the most objective scientist holds a belief that observation itself will be of benefit to humanity. You will be taking a similar part of yourself with you when you find the answer. Will that not color your perception of it? So you intend to find the truth, and then have that truth confirmed by your peers. Unity is a reality born of observation and agreement?
It's the scientific method, and I swear by it myself.
Well, I won't keep you any longer. This has been fun, I have to admit. Go, find your truth.
Whoever lived at this homestead seemed to have settled in for the long haul. There's got to be something useful out here.
realm. It's not yet time. I don't even know if it will ever be. But hope and my pocketbook springs eternal. I really can't say, as much as I'd like to. It may mean nothing, but I'm rooting for you. Sorry, can't say. Hopefully all will make sense in time. Good luck. Please, just be careful. Very careful. I hope to see you at a much later date.
This planet, this is more my speed. Oh, I could hike here for a while. What an incredibly beautiful sculpture. I suspect it was placed here for some sort of specific purpose, rather than as an artistic statement. Yeah, what is it? Ever since we talked about the Battle of Cassiopeia, I can't get what happened out of my mind. Was it that obvious? I thought I could handle these memories, but until I return to Cassiopeia, I'll never be able to put this to rest. I would like that. Actually, I need that. One problem, though. Pinpointing the crew's shuttle wreckage is going to be like trying to find a grain of salt in a sandbox. I think we need to start by locating my old campsite on Cassiopeia 1. Shortly after I evacuated, I saw the ship come apart. The UC listed it as lost, so I assume the Dauntless was completely destroyed. What's there to tell? I survived. My crew didn't. Still, I'll never forget my finger hovering over that launch button. Would I launch safely, or explode into a fireball? It turned out that my shuttle had just enough power to allow an emergency landing on the planet's surface. I wouldn't call what I did a soft landing, but thank you all the same. Hold on. I don't know the exact location of my survival campsite. For that, we are going to have to head to Mast and see if we can get the information from my old friend, Admiral Logan. Your instincts are right on target. Logan and I butted heads more than once during my time with the Navigator Corps. We've never seen eye to eye. Look, I hope this isn't asking too much. Last thing I want to do is drag you into some kind of personal crusade. That's why I'm desperate for your help. Truth is, I'm scared. When I set foot on Cassiopeia, I don't know if I'll be able to handle what I find. If I begin to fall apart, I need someone I can trust to hold me together. I know you will. You've always been there when I've needed your help. Why you continue to support me, I'll never understand. I feel the same way about you. Oh, I've been so busy searching the stars for answers, I've overlooked what's been in front of me all this time. True friendship. Something I've denied myself for far too long. You're right. I have. Hey, anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I know you have a lot to do. I really appreciate your offer to visit Cassiopeia. Hopefully, it'll bring me the closure that I've needed for far too long. Mind if we stop by the waterfall on this trip? I could use a few moments to unwind.
You...
Sure thing. We'll get it fixed up. Good as new.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving.
Security scanners, chemical sniffers. United Colonies sure isn't taking any chances. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. I have something for you when you have a moment.
Should any United Colony citizens need to venture to the capital of Freestar Collective Space, remain extra vigilant.
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Admiral Logan sooner rather than later. Yeah, take a look at this.
Sarah Morgan. It's been what, almost 10 years?
Admiral, it's, good to see you again, sir.
You're not required to address me as sir. That protocol ended the moment you dropped your clusters on my desk, remember?
Look, Admiral, I'm not here to open old wounds.
Old wounds is an interesting turn of phrase, given our past. Listen to me, Commander. I'm not sure why you're here, but whatever it is, why don't you just get to it?
I'm here because I need your help, Admiral.
You need my help. That's interesting. The last time we spoke, you made it quite clear that you were turning your back on the Navy.
That was a decade ago. Things change. People change. Admiral, please. I didn't come here to argue. I'm here to come to terms with my past.
Your past is sitting in a closed file in the archives. That's where you left it when you walked out on the United Colonies. And what about you? Just who in the blazes are you anyway? Very well. Then, as a good friend, perhaps you could kindly explain to me why I shouldn't have the both of you escorted from the building.
With all due respect, Admiral, this is ridiculous. If you have a problem with me, then there's no need to berate my colleague.
I don't have a problem with you, Commander. I'm simply trying to determine why you deserve the Navy's help. That's quite a noble gesture. Is this true, Commander?
It's about Cassiopeia, Admiral. I'm heading back there to find out what happened to the crew of the Dauntless, and hopefully, to bring their legacy home.
That sounds like a dangerous operation. Are you certain it's worth the risk?
I don't know.
I see. The fact that you'd risk your own lives to solve this mystery speaks volumes.
They were my responsibility, Admiral. One way or another, I intend to bring them home.
I understand. And I believe I owe you an apology, Commander. Our last encounter has obviously distorted my impression of your character. What can I do to help?
If you wouldn't mind allowing me to access the files regarding my rescue, I'd be most grateful, Admiral.
That shouldn't be too difficult. I've sent all the relevant information to you, Slades. Was there anything else?
No, Admiral. Thank you.
You don't need to thank me, Commander. I just hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia. We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia.
Yes.
An unknown vessel has been identified.
Bulk items may require multiple levels of approval and can take up to several weeks for an official response. We apologize for any delay. Welcome to UC Distribution. Something I can do for you? I hope we have what you need. Right. Come back if you need something else.
Got a call someone's power kept going out.
a few credits to spare. We'll go easy on you this time. If that's how you want to play it, fire everything you got! You're going down!
From what I'm seeing, this world has all the essential building blocks to support life. I can't believe I'm here. It feels like walking into a dream. Thank you. Right now, I feel like I need all the help that I can get. Phew. Okay, so let me get my bearings for a moment. Yes, this looks correct. Those rock formations nearby look familiar. My old campsite shouldn't be far. Yes, exactly. Since most of my gear was destroyed, I depended on those landmarks to orient myself while I was stranded. Once we get to the campsite, we'll use that as a starting point to search for the cruise shuttle wreckage. Let's go. This must be some debris from my shuttle. Not exactly a textbook landing, but I didn't have much of a choice. Well, this is it. This is the spot where I spent close to a year waiting for rescue. Not exactly Paradiso, is it? Yeah? Well, inside I'm a shattered wreck. So, joke's on both of us, I suppose. Look at this thing. It's been sitting here rusting. I think we need to grab an emergency power cell to get the ship's computer up and running. Sure, if we're lucky. When I was stranded, I set up a distress beacon powered by emergency power cells. The beacon was up there on the plateau. I guess it's time to start climbing. Setting up this beacon probably saved my life. Who knows how long I would have been stranded here.
Come on!
Hit me. Make sure you clean that off before you stow it in your bag.
Why are we stopping?
We've located where the other shuttle went down. I can't believe our plan worked. Well, we're not there yet. But damn, it does feel good. The telemetry data puts the wreckage out of range to hike. We're going to have to head back to the ship and land on a different part of the planet. Let's get going. Had I been on this planet under more pleasant circumstances, I might have had more time to appreciate the beauty it has to offer. Make sure you strip everything useful from that thing. Judging from this debris, the crew's shuttle sustained far more damage than my own. Oh, those poor souls. This is what's left of the crew's shuttle. But it looks like parts were scavenged and dragged somewhere else. Could there have been survivors? Still fresh. Is there someone here that's still alive?
Stop! I'll shoot if I have to. Just turn around and leave. I know how to use this thing, and I will.
Oh my God. Who are you?
I'm nobody. Just go away. I'm not going to let anyone take my stuff again. No way. Both of you, just go! Yeah, sure. Try and trick me. No. No way. I'm not getting fooled again. Forget it.
Stop it right now. Put away that gun and talk to us. We want to know what happened here.
See? You're not nice at all. I knew it. You're a liar. That's all grown-ups do is lie.
Sorry. I was wrong to get so angry. We are here to help you, and we promise to tell the truth.
I don't know. You're kind of scaring me. Why should I listen to you? The crew? No one's been looking for that crew since before I was born. So tell me another lie. Go ahead.
You were born here? Hold on. Oh my God. Your parents, your mum and your dad, what were their names?
Jenna and Elias. Why?
Jenna and Elias. Private Jenna Marsh and Corporal Elias Obrist. You're their daughter. Listen to me. I knew your parents. They worked with me on the Dauntless. I'm Commander Sarah Morgan.
You're Sarah Morgan? Mom and Dad's captain? My parents used to talk about you all the time. It's like a dream to finally meet you. Yeah? Well, I wish you wouldn't have taken so long. My parents are dead. My father died a long time ago. And my mother, she was killed by those monsters at the graveyard. It's just me here now. All by myself.
Let me ask you a question. Actually, I don't even know your name.
Oh, yeah. My name's Sona.
Sona. What a lovely name. Sona, you mentioned a graveyard. Is that where the crew is, you know?
Buried? Yeah. It's a bunch of stones with those necklaces like the ones my mom and dad had hanging on them.
Thank you, Sona. I'm going to talk to my friend here a minute, okay?
Okay, Sarah.
Phew. I don't even know where to begin. Whew. Yeah. That's probably good advice. Oh, there's so much to process. But I don't have time to deal with it right now. If you want to help, then find that graveyard and bring me those necklaces Sona mentioned. I'm hoping they're my crew's gene tags. Good. Just be careful. Sona's monsters are undoubtedly hostile life forms that have claimed the graveyard as their territory. Sona, calm down and listen to me. It's much too dangerous to stay here all by yourself, darling.
I don't care. This is my home. You can't make me leave.
We can't leave her here. It's not safe. She has to come back with us to Jemison. Oh, I don't know what to do. Can you talk to her? I knew I could depend on you. Now all we have to do is convince this poor girl that she's better off leaving the planet with us. I don't know if I have it in me to say the right things.
I can hear you talking about me. And I don't care what either of you say. I'm not going anywhere.
Look, I'm clearly out of my element here and not in the right state of mind. Could you just talk to her, please?
Why won't Sarah listen to me? Mom told me 1,000 times that it wasn't Sarah's fault that that I'm stuck here. That still doesn't mean I should leave the only home I ever had, does it? Mom and Dad told me there was a whole universe out there, with thousands of planets. They showed me the maps and the star charts. That does sound pretty cool, but well, it's also kind of scary. It would be hard to leave the only home I've ever known. Mom told me there were really bad people out there. Worse than the ones I've already seen. But leaving Mom and Dad behind, it's really hard. Even though they're dead, I don't want to abandon them. Yeah. You're right. I never thought of it that way. I'm sorry I yelled at everybody. I know you and Sarah are just trying to help. I'm going to go get my stuff and then I'll board your ship. Don't worry, I'll stay out of the way until we get, well, wherever we're going.
That poor girl. I hope we've made the right decision. I do hope that's true. We're ripping Sona from the only home she's ever known and casting her back into society. It's going to be difficult for her to adjust to the changes. Wherever she ends up, just promise me we'll check on her from time to time, please. Thank you. Look, before we leave Cassiopeia behind, I wanted to say one more thing to you. Perhaps at the overlook we passed on the way here? I promise it won't take long. Let's go.
Let's talk another time. Lots of stuff to pack up here.
Look, before we head back to the ship, I wanted to tell you how much of an amazing gift this has been. You had to push me to come out here, and if I hadn't have listened to you, the universe would probably have never known about that little girl. And I intend to repay you for that, even if it takes the rest of my life. You know, this is the second time I've been on this world, and until this very moment, I never stopped to reflect at just how magnificent it was. Oh, look at this place. This is the reason I'm out here, exploring the stars. Worlds upon worlds, just waiting to have their beauty discovered. Shedding this burden of my past has finally allowed me to open my eyes, wider than they've ever been opened before. And it's all because of you. Perhaps. I suppose we'll both have to think about that for a while now, won't we? Well, I suppose it's time to bid goodbye to Cassiopeia once again. This time, under much happier circumstances. Now, let's head back to Jemison. I want to give those gene tags you gathered to Admiral Logan, and figure out what we're going to do with Sona. Hey, let me know if we're going to head into the well, so I can watch your back.
Is there a type of... You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
Good to see you.
So, what's new with you today?
Howdy.
I served my time in the fleet, but were I a younger man, I'd be back out there now. Welcome back. Did you find your answers?
Not only that, but we found someone there, alive. A child born from 2 of the crew that survived the crash. After her parents died, that poor girl spent years surviving on that hostile world, alone. We abandoned her, Admiral. We let her down.
I'm sorry. I had no idea. How could we have possibly known? Yes, of course. I think we can all agree that this was another unfortunate circumstance of the Colony War.
What you'd call an unfortunate circumstance, I call a tragedy.
You're absolutely right, Sarah. It is a tragedy. One thing that I can assure you is that the names of these men and women will never be forgotten. I'll see to it personally.
Thank you, Admiral.
Good luck to both of you. It's been an honor.
Once we're done here, we should have a little talk with Sona. poor things waiting for us at the lodge.
Having a good one?
As much as I'm eager to explore the universe, there's nothing quite like the feeling of returning home.
Don't worry about me. You go do what you have to do. I'll be okay.
We never finished our conversation about your little soiree on the Eye.
Here we go. Look, I already said I'm
Hey,
sorry.
I've been talking with the others, and I'd like to get everyone together to say goodbye.
Well, there's the small matter of
You
a
know.
bill I recently received.
To Sam.
5,000 credits for assorted petty fours. You want to tell me the real story there, Barrett?
Thank you.
You and Vladimir don't
It
exactly
wouldn't be the
strike
same
me
without
as
you
the
there.
petty fours type.
I'll have everything set up in a
More
few
like
days.
beer and pretzels, if you ask me.
Listen, Sarah, we were hosting a party and I don't know what to say. You have to impress, right?
The Eye isn't your personal vacation home. It's a delicate instrument. If you don't want me to revoke your docking rights...
No need to say another word, Skipper. I read you loud and clear. Oh, and I'll settle that bill for the pettit fours. Don't even worry about that.
You go do... Don't worry about me. I'll be fine now. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine now.
To think the lodge turned into a battlefield.
You go do what you have to do. I'll be okay. You go do what you have to do. I'll be okay. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine now.
If you need time, if you think it will help. I've been giving that a lot of thought. I'm going to suggest she stay at the lodge, but I don't want her to think that I'm forcing her to follow in my footsteps. At the very least, it should give her a safe place from which she can adjust to her new way of life. Okay, back to it then. Every time I return here, I'm reminded of the importance of Constellation's contributions to exploration. Constellation is no stranger to loss. Our own founder left on an expedition and never returned. It is easy to talk about the glory and excitement of breaching into the unknown, of lighting the darkness. But it is harder to stare into the face of the cost. That all of our progress is built on top of the lives of those who dared. And that we owe them the courage to continue our work in their memory.
Thank you, Sarah. If anyone else would like to say a few words. Thank you. If anyone else wants to say something.
I thought maybe I would come up with something to say, but I've got nothing. So, instead, I thought I would quote something that gave me comfort a long time ago. Is God real? The more proper question would be, is reality divine? Existence itself is a mystery which yearns to be uncovered. What is goodness but a comparison to the good? What is existence but a participation in being? For where the diversity of the universe inspires awe and wonder, it exists only in contrast to a simplicity so pure that it may only be understood as primordial and even divine. Our essence is what was imagined by its mind, but what we consider imagining and what we consider mind are in fact so far beyond our understanding that even these metaphors are like the tiny whitecaps on a massive surging sea. There's more, but those are the parts that speak to me the most. Thank you.
That was really thoughtful, Mateo. Thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything?
I don't often speak about what I believe in. It seems so redundant with how I live. But death is one of those occasions where it's hard not to look inward. Our friend is gone. There's no afterlife, or second meetings. No God in heaven that is curating a perfect ending for him. So it's up to us. We are what lives on. If the pain of loss inspires us to greater action, then that is the good that comes from it. Humanity is what truly creates our world. We are the ones that judge things to be good or evil, joyful or mournful. Let us take responsibility for it. Let us remember what we have lost.
Walter, are you part of the House of Enlightenment? I never knew that.
Yes, well, I like to keep some things private.
You all might not like thinking about this, but when we die, everything about us breaks down, decomposes, gets eaten up by insects and microbes. Or due to the lack of a biosphere, we are simply carried away by space and time until we sizzle in a distant sun's corona or get pulled in some gravitational field and coalesce with other debris. Not comforting, huh? But I disagree. Do you know what I find uncomfortable? The thought that after I die, the universe is just going to stand still forever. Could you imagine? The fact is that the universe goes on, that life goes on, that things do not just sit still. That right there is the comfort that I need. Yeah, we die, and some people go way before they should. But the universe doesn't care, not because it's evil, but because it's infinite. Ever expanding. And who wouldn't want to be a part of infinity? Even if it's just for a short while. Listen, we don't worry about ourselves before we were born, do we? Of course not. We emerge from the universe as we return to it. And for one beautiful moment, we are here, together.
Yes, that certainly was an interesting perspective, Barrett. I hope this is all okay. Between fixing things up and sending out messengers and getting all the paperwork done. It's not much. No, it's fine. Sorry, if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start crying. Could you excuse me?
Hi. So many people here. So many people saying goodbye. It doesn't change anything. Everything's worse. Nothing's going to make that better. I just feel like I want to be a million light years away from everyone. I want to be alone for a while, okay?
You one of Sam's constellation people? Lillian Hart. He probably never mentioned me. I mean, I try not to talk about him, so... I'm sorry. That was a terrible thing to say. Cora's mother, Sam's ex. God, I'm rambling. Look, I don't know who I should speak to about this, but Cora and I talked, and she's coming to live with me. Right now, she's taking it all so hard. She wants to get away from here. In time, maybe she'll come back. She talked about you all the time. But right now, she just needs to get away from all the reminders of Sam. We'll be leaving soon, so say your goodbyes to her, if you like.
Why would anyone...
I am told these types of gatherings are a sad occasion. That assumption appears to be correct. No, I don't. I'm programmed to analyze sensory and biometric data, so I can cross-reference. But I do not feel, as you seem to imply. I appreciate you verifying my analysis, although I am certain my thanks will do little to improve your current psychological trauma. If you would like, though, I can add some consoling language to my programming. It will take some time to adapt, but it will be okay. How was that? I will note that feedback for later.
Hey, how are you holding up? Take some time for yourself, okay? Plenty of rooms to sit down in if you need to be alone for a while. We'll get through this. It might feel like everything's falling apart, but that's why we need to stick together. We all have to get through this our own way. Don't worry about me. Really, I'll be fine.
My boy. I've lost my boy. What do you mean? Nothing wrong with me and my son. Sure, we yell. Families are supposed to yell at each other. It's what keeps us honest. If you can't show your worst side to the people closest to you, who can you?
Chat for a bit? Normally, I hate talking to people at funerals, but, well. You don't believe in the afterlife, do you? I mean, this might be the worst time to bring it up, but... Yes. Won't we all? Well, I've taken up enough of your time.
It almost feels wrong to be grieving. Selfish. No amount of tears will bring the dead back. It's just easier to feel guilty, if you'll excuse me.
You know, what you're feeling right now is a chemical reaction whose evolutionary goal is promoting social cohesion. Never seems to work for me. No matter how many times I do this, I feel less attached, not more. I wrote the book on them. The 10 Stages of Grief by A. Barrett. Step 1 used to be have a drink. But nowadays I settle on a good chocolate bar. You know, if there's one piece of advice I can actually give you, it's that lost loved ones have a way of coming back to you. One day you'll be sweeping out some old shelf or digging through a desk, and there it'll be. Some old paperweight of theirs, or a piece of jewelry they gave you, half jokingly. Theoretically, of course. Maybe I like knowing no matter how far I run to the edges of space, someone is going to find their way back to me.
Drink? Pour one out to the blackest sea? Two old friends. May their ghosts go past the edges of space, to the great beyond. Aye.
Everyone is in mourning. I understand, but I cannot quite share in their emotion. I have seen death. I have lost people I considered close. But this is... it is not the same. I cannot explain why. I am not sure I am making sense. Thank you.
Now that we're here, perhaps we could spend a bit of time relaxing rather than planning?
Spend so much time looking at the scans. I can see star systems orbiting in my head.
I guess we need to talk. There you are. I was wondering when you'd come and say hi to me.
Hello, Sona. I see you found your way to the lodge without any trouble.
Yeah, it was kind of hard though. All these people around. Never seen so many people in my entire life. Sarah gave me directions. She's really good at that. Riding that gnat thing was super cool. It was like magic or something. Like something from the stories Mom used to read. But The hardest part was having everyone staring at me. All these people in one place. It's kind of scaring me. I don't know why. They sure won't. They have to catch me first.
It's true. You're one of the toughest people I've ever met. So, what do you think? Do you like it here, Sona?
At the lodge? Yeah, this place is huge. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. You must be like a bazillionaire, Sarah.
Oh, don't I wish? This place isn't mine alone. It belongs to everyone who's a part of Constellation. And I think it should belong to you too, Sona. I want you to stay here and make this your home.
Whoa. Does that mean I get to go exploring with both of you? Or wait, do I get my own ship?
Exactly. And this is the perfect place to begin your education.
I understand. Oh, and don't worry, I learn real fast, so you better get ready to have another member of Constellation signing on for missions.
I can't wait.
Well, anyway, thanks for letting me stay here. I promise I won't let either of you down.
I'm sure that you won't. Well, I think we should let Sona get settled. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to visit the Colony War Memorial now. I want to pay my final respects.
It's a privilege to be able to work for the UC government.
Look at this. All these people. Their entire lives distilled down to names on a memorial. I wonder how close I came to being reduced to just a name. These people laid down their lives for what they believed in, and it cost them dearly. I served shoulder to shoulder with them, and watched some of them die. I know you meant well, but they'll always be more than a name to me. And I care about you too. There's obviously some kind of a connection between us that I think we need to discuss. Just let me have another moment here, and then we can head over to the waterfall, so we can talk in private. Okay, I'm ready. Not much further. I think you'll want to hear what I have to say after we arrive at the waterfall. When things at the lodge are too much, I love coming to this spot to just sort of, I don't know, melt away for a while. It's lovely here, isn't it? I've been from one end of the settled systems to the other. But this place, this exact spot, there's nowhere else like it in the galaxy. I knew you'd appreciate it. I usually come up here to mull over some of the heated debates we have at Constellation. You'd be surprised how many decisions I've made on this very spot. That's actually why I asked you to meet me up here. I was hoping we could talk about something very important. I know you are. Just give me a moment. I have a lot I need to say. It's about my return to Cassiopeia. What we learned about Sona has been constantly replaying in my mind. Maybe it sounds crazy, but that young girl's isolation feels like a reflection of my own life. Don't get me wrong. Compared to Sona, I've had it easy. I've spent my life surrounded by all sorts of people. Constellation, the Navigator Corps. Hell, even the UC military. Despite that, no matter how hard I've tried to make them a part of my life, they tend to drift away and disappear. I suppose. Well, if that's true, this challenge is wearing me down. Finding someone like that would be wonderful. Wait a second. What exactly are you saying? Sorry, I just need a moment to gather my thoughts. I know you want to have a serious relationship. You want to become close. So, if you're willing to take that leap of faith with someone like me, then I'm ready to do the same. You're something truly special. You know that? You've helped me conquer my self-doubt, my confidence, hell, everything. For the first time in my life, I feel complete. And with you by my side, I'm convinced that feeling will last forever. You're the best thing that's happened to me in my life. I love you. Always. I received a message from my mother a few days ago. She's returned from another one of her sightseeing cruises. Oh, of course. I'm sorry. We never discussed this, did we? The thing is, my mother and I don't talk very much. We're not estranged or anything of the sort. We're just far apart. Good. When I say that to most people, they look at me like I'm crazy. I don't think they realize how much control parents can exert on your life, especially when their dreams conflict with your own. Oh, I'm certain they felt they were doing the right thing. You see, both of my parents were diplomats working under the flag of the UC Administrative Division. After I completed my basic education, they signed me up for a one-year apprenticeship in their department, without bothering to ask. Wanted isn't the right word. Demanded would be more appropriate. For my apprenticeship, I was sent to Sidonia. My job consisted of drafting political policies and arbitrating trade disputes. The silver lining of the job was that it allowed me to spend time exploring every square inch of Mars. I was swallowed by it. Months before the apprenticeship ended, I dumped my diplomatic certification and joined the UC Navy. Of course, my parents didn't approve. We had a huge argument that resulted in all ties being severed between us. Yes, I was proud of myself. For a while. You see, my father was killed during the opening shots of the Colony War. I returned to Jemison for the funeral and reunited with my mother. After that, we vowed to stay in touch. Aren't you sweet? Always concerned with how I'm feeling. That's why I fell in love with you. Your smile, your caring. It brightens even my darkest days. Listen, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. All this talk of family, it makes me wonder where our own relationship stands. You mean that? You'd do that? For me? I've been dreaming about this moment and still... I don't know what to say. Then you know my answer is yes. 1,000 times repeated, yes. I just need a little time to think about the ceremony. I have some thoughts about how we should move forward. You know, I used to dream about finding the love of my life. And here you are. All I ever needed was you, right here beside me. Always a pleasure. Only if it's one of your deepest. I feel so lucky to be with someone like you. You're the most important thing in my life. I value every waking moment we have together. Good. Anytime you want to talk about our relationship, just let me know. God knows you've done that enough times for me. Leaving? Oh, I see how it is.